Elle. I'm a sophomore from Drexel, and I'm from Malaysia. I grew up in an Islamic country, and so growing up, I did not have any knowledge about Christianity at all. I had heard of Jesus, but I did not know the reason why this man died on the cross. My family didn't believe in a God. They always believed that as long as you work hard with your own effort, you get what you want. And so I grew up with that kind of mindset. At the age of 6, it was difficult for me to get along with the other kids because they verbally and physically bullied me. Things weren't any better at home. My parents would always argue at the top of their lungs, and my father was an alcoholic and would come home drunk many nights. My mother would always bring up the wars, and there was never a night that I could sleep without crying. During that time, I would always eat dinner by myself. One night I was watching the Western movie, and they were talking about this God a lot. I thought to myself, if there really is a God, then God, all I really want is a dinner with my family. Back at school, middle school wasn't any better than elementary school. I was having a lot of trouble fitting into the school. It wasn't only the student who would pick on me and called me names, but even the teachers would constantly call me dumb and disgrade me. Because of the stress of everything that was going on at home and at school, I struggled with my self-worth and became anorexic and bulimic. I lost 44 pounds in 2 months. I thought about committing suicide, but I couldn't do it. It was then I suddenly remembered this God, and I immediately went down on my knees next to my bed and attempted for this first time in my life to pray to Him. I remember crying to God, saying, God, if you are real, please help me, please save me. I didn't even think that this so-called God was real. I just wanted someone for comfort. A few days later, my mother noticed that I had been undergoing a lot of stress from home and school, and she gave me the choice to transfer to an international school. Looking back at it now, it was a miraculous provision from God. I immediately filled up all the forms and submitted them. The thing was that there was no way for me to get into that particular international school because my grades were really bad. However, I asked God to please give me a chance. Please give me a chance to change my life. And surprise, the next day I got a phone call from school and I got accepted. I was so shocked, and immediately my mother and I both started crying tears of hope and joy. During this new transition in my life, even the relationship with my family started to mend. And finally, the day came when I sat down with my parents to have a peaceful family dinner around the table, just as I had prayed 6 years ago. During my college years, my father was diagnosed with many different diseases, and the doctor told my mother that my father had very little time to live. I was devastated because I thought I would lose my father, who I had a very strained relationship with. But one day I got a call from my father, and he said, Elle, I want to remind you that I love you and I'm very proud of you. I will try my best to be healthy so that I can see you graduate from college and get married. That was the first time that my father ever honestly opened his heart to me, and I couldn't stop crying tears of joy. I didn't know it at the time, but God was using even my dad's illness to further mend my relationship with my father. So at that time, I only cared about 2 things: my family and my long-distance boyfriend. When my boyfriend unexpectedly broke up with me in January of 2013, I became depressed. I didn't have friends, I didn't have anyone, and I felt like I was back at square one, all alone. I had so many dark thoughts, but God unexpectedly brought me to GCC to reform me throughout my invitation. I remember my first Sunday service at GCC so well. Pastor Young preached about how we are all like cockroaches, lowly and undeserving of praise. So at my first service, I was being compared to a cockroach, but I kept coming back. I joined family group, and because I didn't have any knowledge of the Bible, I felt so blessed to learn something new every single day. However, because of past hurt, I still had a lot of troubles trusting people. I refused to open up to people at church. I'm not gonna lie, I instinctively ran away from GCC people when I saw them on the street. Then this one brother from GCC really encouraged me to try and trust people one more time and start by reaching out to older sisters. And so I took a leap of faith and decided to do it. And I never regretted my decision to open up myself up to older sisters because they taught me new things about God, corrected and rebuked the old things I misunderstood about God, and showed me glimpses of the great love of God. I accepted Christ in the summer of 2013 and I came to understand what He has done in my life. In the fall of 2013, I became very sick, so I was commuting back and forth a lot to the hospital in New York and Philly. On the day of my surgery, I didn't think that this would ever happen, but I'll never forget it. I was really blessed that some of my brothers and sisters woke up at 7 in the morning so that they could pray for me. And really, for the first time in my life, I felt that I had more reasons to live than not. I'm so grateful to be alive, to witness so many great people in my life. People at church weren't just so-called friends anymore, but they became my family who I can lean on. For the first time, I wasn't alone anymore. Isaiah 41:10 says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." This is the verse that has stuck with me since the day I accepted Christ. God's righteous right hand is upholding me and gives me a reason to live, and I want to love Him the remaining days of